Good evening. Welcome to News on 2. I'm Jessica Lee. The weakness of Pakatan Harapan's election machinery in terms of providing proactive explanation to the rakyat was among the reasons behind PH loss in the Tanjung Piai parliamentary by-election yesterday. PKR Vice President Zuraida Kamordin said PH machinery need to quickly improve that aspect as preparation for any future elections.
Itu memang saya rasa kecewa dan agak duka cita dalam kekalahan kita di situ. Tapi bagaimanapun seperti saya sebut dalam ucapan saya tidak boleh digunakan sebagai referendum. Memandangkan kita berkerajaan baru 1.5 tahun, walaupun mereka kata tak boleh gunakan excuse, tapi kalau 1.5 tahun dibandingkan 60 tahun memang tidak sepadan.
Zuraida was speaking to reporters after launching the Alliance of Safety Community or Ikatan in Kuala Lumpur. The Tanjung Piai parliamentary by-election result yesterday will not weaken the spirit of Pakatan Harapan to continue working hard in providing the best service for the people. Parti Amanah Negara or Amanah President Muhammad Sabu said he had accepted the voters' decision in the parliamentary by-election with open heart. In a statement, Muhammad Sabu said the result calls for the PH government to continue to improve its governance so that all efforts and initiatives implemented can be felt by the people. He also said that the PH leadership would also take efforts to close ranks between the leaders of the parties in PH and at the same time to intensify programs to disseminate information to the people. The number of card printers in every state will be increased to facilitate the registration process and issuance of the disabled persons or the OKU card, thus enabling more disabled Malaysians to register under the Women, Family and Community Development Ministry. Its Deputy Minister Hannah Yeoh said to date each state has only one unit of printer and will have 2 more soon. According to Hannah, the addition of the printers is made following the complaints made by the applicants that they had to wait for a long period of time to get the OKU cards.
Komplain yang kita terima adalah satu printer di satu negeri. Jadi macam di Melaka, kalau let's say contoh, bila Melaka rosak, dia kena pergi ke pinjam, okay, untuk print. So then that delay is not good because a lot of the children dia perlukan kad awal. Okay, so kita nak selesaikan masalah itu, kita telah beri instruction ya tahun ini untuk pastikan setiap negeri mesti ada 2 printer minimum, at least supaya dia tak perlu pergi another state.
Hannah was met after launching the Unlocking Possibilities Science and Educational Technology Seminar in Petaling Jaya today. Meanwhile, Hannah said the ministry will open another 5 independent living centres following the increase in the number of disabled students in public schools to 11,988. The third trial of criminal charges faced by former Prime Minister Datuk Seri Najib Tun Razak at the Kuala Lumpur High Court is expected to commence tomorrow. Datuk Seri Najib is facing a charge of tampering the One Malaysia Development Berhad or 1MDB final audit report together with 1MDB former Chief Executive Officer CEO Arul Kandasamy. The Pekan MP is currently preparing to enter his defence in the SRC International Sindra Berhad case, in which he was charged with 7 charges of misappropriating 42 million ringgit in SRC funds at another high court. His defence will resume on the 3rd of December. Datuk Seri Najib, 66, is also being tried for 4 charges of using his position to obtain bribes totaling 2.3 billion ringgit from 1MDB funds and 21 charges of money laundering involving the same amount in a different court. The trial is set to resume on the 6th of January next year. Whether or not the third trial will proceed tomorrow depends on the decision of Judge Muhammad Zaini Maslan, as he will first deliver his decision on Datuk Seri Najib's application for the audit report tampering trial dates to be vacated and to be moved to 13th of January 2020. Prior to this, Judge Muhammad Zaini had directed all parties to be prepared with the trial if he disallowed the application. The judge had also fixed 18th to 29th of November this year and 13th to 17th of January 2020 for the trial. 11 preschool students from Sekolah Kebangsaan Mempagau 1 Bentong who were in a school trip to Kuala Lumpur are among those infected with respiratory tract infection believed to be influenza A H1N1. Now, the school trip, which was also joined by teachers and parents who were visiting several tourism spots in Kuala Lumpur on the 2nd of November. A grandfather of one of the students, Mat Sabudin Chek Long, admitted that he was worried and hoped that the relevant parties would be able to deal with the infection so it would not spread. Pahang State Health Director Datuk Dr. Syahri Ngadiman said the 11 students were among the 73 individuals infected with the virus. However, school sessions will continue as usual and would only be ordered to close if they received such instructions from the Health Ministry. Now, 8 homes were badly damaged by a mini tornado that hit Kampung Padang, Mukim Tajar in Alor Setar, Kedah yesterday. Kota Setar District Civil Defence Force Officer Captain Muhammad Zain Bahrom, when met at the scene this morning, said the agency received a report on the incident at 6:30 p.m. and rushed to the scene to provide assistance. Captain Muhammad Zain said no injuries were reported so far due to the tornado. Meanwhile, one of the affected residents said the strong wind only lasted a minute, but it had ripped apart the roof of most of the houses in the area. He also said that the storm had caused him to suffer almost 8,000 ringgit in losses. Another resident said that he was away in Kuala Kedah when the incident occurred and only knew about it after being informed by his daughter, who was nearly injured by fallen wood. He suffered almost 10,000 ringgit in damages. The move to sell treated water for industrial use will help India Water Consortium (IWK) to increase its revenue. Water, Land and Natural Resources Minister Datuk Dr. Xavier Jayakumar said the move was also a long-term solution to reduce the National Sewerage Company's dependency on the financial assistance from the federal government. Speaking to reporters after flagging off the IWK 25 run at Pantai Eco Park, Kuala Lumpur today, Datuk Dr. Xavier said IWK would collaborate with water utility company Air Selangor in the water treatment process, as well as in the provision of facilities to manage the development of industrial drainage pipes that cost almost 600 million ringgit.
So sebab itu kita kena kerjasama dengan syarikat air di dalam negeri Selangor, dan harga dia pun lebih murah dari air yang kita rawat melalui proses yang ada sekarang. Ini is actually free water, tetapi kita kena charge sebab kita kena adakan infrastructure cost untuk kita laykan dia punya pipe dan sebagainya, dan jual kepada Air Selangor, dan Air Selangor lepas tu boleh jual kepada industri-industri.
Datuk Dr. Xavier said the revenue from the sale will be used to build more sewage treatment infrastructure outside of Kuala Lumpur. This includes the proposal to build several water treatment plants in Pahang. Now, in the effort to popularize the value of cleanliness and perpetuate the environment among the city residents, 1,500 kilograms of recycled items were collected by 2019 Alam Flora City Hunt. #Jom Rawat Bumi program participants. Now, Alam Flora Sdn Bhd, Alam Flora Chief Executive Officer Dato' Muhammad Zain Hassan says the third edition of the program had attracted 132 local participants involving 33 groups of various ages, including bloggers and celebrities. Commenting further on the matter, Dato' Muhammad Zain said the program is to provide continuous exposure to the public on the importance of recycling and looking after the environment, because as there are many environment issues surfacing in recent times. He said this to the media after the participants were flagged off by the Kuala Lumpur Mayor, Dato' Nur Hisham Ahmad Dahlan, today. Dato' Muhammad Zain added that through the program, Alam Flora targeted to reduce the solid waste at garbage dumps, because most waste in the city were in the form of recyclables like plastic and paper. The event was among Alam Flora's main programs with the Kuala Lumpur City Hall, or DBKL, in the aspect of looking after the cleanliness of the city and environment. Now, leave applications of about 80% of the 15,000 Fire and Rescue Department officers and personnel were frozen as preparation to face the East monsoon season. Fire and Rescue Department Director General Dato' Muhammad Hamdan Wahid said the leave applications will be reviewed depending on the weather condition reported by the Malaysia Meteorological Department.
Kos pencatuan ini bergantung kepada keadaan di mana ada setengah kaki tangan ini akan merayakan hari perayaan mereka, sebagai contohnya Christmas sebagai contohnya. Jadi dalam bomba ni kita ada 15,000 kaki tangan. We can say 80% of them will going to be working during the monsoon season. Kerana kita kerap mengalami MTL ini, monsun timur laut ini di sepanjang bulan November hingga bulan 2 yang bergantung kepada ramalan cuaca oleh Met Malaysia.
Dato' Muhammad Hamdan was speaking after attending the commissioning of Auxiliary Firefighters Certification Series ceremony in Nilai, Negeri Sembilan. Now, foreign funds were net sellers at 351.6 million ringgit between 11th to 14th of November, up from 44.1 million ringgit recorded between 4th to 7th of November. Bank Islam Chief Economist Dr. Muhammad Afzanizam Abdul Rashid says this indicates foreign investors were taking a cautious stand on Malaysian equities. Dr. Afzanizam said issues surrounding the trade discussions between the United States and China continue to take center stage as the progress remained highly fluid. The latest release on Malaysia's third quarter of 2019 gross domestic product indicates that the impact from the global slowdown following the ongoing trade war since last year has taken a toll on the country's external demand. He attributed the lower growth of 4.4% in the third quarter this year from 4.9% in the previous quarter to external uncertainties, which contributed to weak business and consumer sentiment domestically. Apart from that, he said consumer spending, which continued to be the main pillar of domestic growth, had normalized. Going forward, Muhammad Afzanizam said developments behind the trade war between the US and China will remain the main focus for the equities market. Now, Malaysia strongly condemns the continuous attacks by Israel on the Gaza Strip, which have resulted in the deaths of Palestinian civilians, including women and children. The Foreign Ministry in a statement said the attacks by the Israeli Defense Force, or IDF, have been excessive and disproportionate in total disregard of all international laws. Malaysia reiterates its strong opposition to Israel's continued blockade against Gaza, which causes tremendous human suffering and hardship to the people of Gaza. The statement also said Malaysia calls upon the international community to undertake serious efforts towards ending the illegal Israeli occupation and establishing an independent state of Palestine. Malaysia also urged all parties to exercise restraint and respect the ceasefire agreement to avoid further loss of civilian lives. That's it from us in our top story. Pakatan Harapan to continue to push for reforms despite Tanjung PI loss. Join us again at 12:30 tomorrow afternoon. I'm Jessica Lee. Stay tuned to TV2.